It's a great honor to introduce Mike Parent, who is our Executive Director. Mike was, I'm going to go ahead and read the bio. Mike became involved with NAF in 1982 as a consultant. In 1987, the foundation hired him as the Director of Development, and in 2004 was hired as the NAF Executive Director. Michael, who received a degree in business, has spent his entire professional career in nonprofit organizations. After graduating from college, Michael's first job was Executive Director of a regional nonprofit involved with community economic development. His next position was a development, rural issues, juvenile offenders programs, patient advocacy, and veterans issues. Over the years, Mike has served on the various nonprofit boards. He's married to his wife, Renee, and his one son, Ryan. And I will tell you, Mike's going to come up and talk about the past, the present, and the future, and I think you're going to hear a great story. One of the things, and I may be taking away some of what he's going to say, but one of the things that we have really tried to do at these meetings is listen to what you all want to do. Camille talked about the survey. It's very important. We want to make this your session. You spend a lot of money and time to come to these meetings. We want to make it worthwhile. And we in the board and through Mike's leadership have been listening to a lot of things, and we've got some real exciting things ahead in the future. As I said, this is our 59th conference. Part of the meetings that go on next door is the AIM conference, where we've got young investigators coming on. And I remember the very first meeting I went to happened to be New Orleans. It was small. There wasn't a lot of new news and everything, and one thing I find is that every year I find new news and new hope for treatment and cures for this disease that we're all faced with. So with that, Mike, turn it over to you.
Thanks, Dave. Good morning. I couldn't hear you. Good morning. Welcome to the 59th Annual Ataxia Conference of the National Ataxia Foundation. And it's so great to see so many old friends that I've met over the years at these conferences. Met some new friends already this morning, and looking forward to meeting others. And I'm just amazed, as Camille and Dave have mentioned, over 40% of our attendees this year are first-timers, and we really welcome all of you. And also we have a lot of new members here today, too. So part of my presentation will be talking about the history of the foundation, and we're delighted to see you all here. I do want to give a special thank you to Camille Daglio, the chair of the Annual Ataxia Conference this year. Certainly Lori Sjogren, our Special Projects Coordinator, who works so hard for these annual meetings, as well as the Southeast region, who's hosting this wonderful conference. And certainly the amazing volunteers that we have here this weekend, as well as our generous sponsors. I couldn't resist, sorry. The National Ataxia Foundation is entering its 59th year in serving ataxia families. The main focus and purpose of the foundation, as envisioned by its founders, remain the same: fostering promising ataxia research and helping those with ataxia and their families. Many rare disease groups are often formed by those who are affected by a particular disease, and the foundation was no exception. It was established by a family in 1957. Two brothers, Dr. John W. Scott and Henry Scott, along with family members and friends, established the foundation on the belief that by working together, ataxia families, clinicians, researchers, and others can accomplish great things. And although the road the organization has traveled throughout its history has been challenging, the mission has always remained clear. 1957 is when it all began, and there was 13 people at the organizational meeting. First annual membership meeting was held April 16th, 1958. There were 9 of the 13 members present. 3 additional members were elected. Back in those days, the membership was a process. You made an application, and at the annual membership meeting, your application was reviewed and considered. And it wasn't until the 1970s when open membership became available. Today, the National Ataxia Foundation's annual ataxia conferences, attendance range between 400 to 700 from people from all over the United States. As Camille had mentioned, over 500 here today, and it's wonderful to see all of you. And now the conferences are held throughout the United States. In 1970, NAF struggled in the early years in terms of funding and ataxia awareness. However, in 1970, NAF offered its first ataxia clinic, conducted by Drs. Rosenberg, Scott, and Nyhan. They participated in the first ataxia clinic in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where they examined 33 patients. And at that clinic, WCCO TV in Minneapolis, Minnesota covered the clinic, and because of their coverage, the 3 doctors were invited to New York City for a press conference. And at that press conference, Time, Life, and the Associated Press was there, where the article in Time was published in January 25th, 1971, and resulted from letters across the United States from ataxia families. Those free ataxia clinics, which were really unique at their time, was a multidisciplinary approach which offered not only neurological examinations, but speech and swallowing, and genetic counseling, financial planning, and the like, really was kind of the pioneer or model for what a lot of these multidisciplinary ataxia clinics are here today. In 1971, the organization was restructured, and the formation of the Medical Research Advisory Board, which totaled 7. Today, there are over 25 international members of the Medical Research Advisory Board. In 1971, it also was the first newsletter of the National Ataxia Foundation called the Lighthouse News, and in 1974 it became a quarterly newsletter. Today we have Generations, which is a 48-page plus newsletter that goes out quarterly as well. And also, today NAF is a world leader in publications of on ataxia books and on our website. 1972 was the 15th annual membership meeting, which was held in Minneapolis. 38 members attended. Fortunately, that was the day that one of our original founders, Dr. John W. Scott's funeral. Dr. Scott was not only a founder of the foundation, but also a brilliant scientist and researcher who also inherited the ataxia gene. NAS Ataxia Research Symposium, the first one was held in 1975, and these research symposiums continued through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and really was the foundation for the establishment of what we have today called the Ataxia Investigators Meeting. Funding challenges continued to face NAF with total contributions in 1976 with $41,350 compared to $6,537 in 1972. And in 1978, NAF funded its first ataxia research study to Dr. Robert Currier from the University of Mississippi in the amount of $5,000. And the next year, NAF was able to award 2 grants totaling $5,750. Today, the foundation offers 5 research programs and has funded nearly $3 million over the past 3 years to 70 promising ataxia research studies. In 1982, the 25th annual membership meeting was held in Jackson, Mississippi. This was the first time that the annual meeting was held outside of Minnesota. In 1971, NAF was approved to be included in the combined federal campaign, and since that time, government workers from around the country and around the world has supported the foundation with more than $500,000 in support. And in 1995, NAF first was on the internet. Today, the foundation has 5 research programs. Research seed money, which is for early and pilot phase studies and ongoing investigation. 2 Young Investigator Award programs, which encourages young investigators to pursue a career in ataxia research. We have a Research Postdoc Fellowship Award, which funds postdocs who have shown a commitment in ataxia research, as well as the Pioneer SCA Translational Research Award, which is a $100,000 research award that to investigators that will facilitate the development of treatments for the spinocerebellar ataxias. As indicated earlier, in 1978 was the first research funding of $5,000, and give you a little history of the fundings of the foundation. In 1985, 3 researchers in the United States received funding totaling $25,000, and in 1995, 6 researchers from the United States received funding totaling $40,500. In 2015, NAF received more than 100 research applications from researchers from around the world. Led by Drs. Orr and Ranum, 62 peer reviewers were assigned selected research applications to do their peer reviews, or a total of 212 individual reviews. And in December, the Board of Directors approved the most promising of these research studies, and for 2015, 22 ataxia research studies in 6 countries were supported, totaling nearly $1 million. As you heard a little bit about today, the 6th Ataxia Investigators meeting is held this week, and we're just very delighted that by the response. I think we got close to 170 researchers from around the world attending this year's AIM. The focus of these AIMs are to identify common disease mechanisms, explore therapeutic strategies, help establish the future leaders of ataxia research, and bring trainees into contact with ataxia families. Dr. Gulin Oz on Sunday will be talking and reporting about the findings from this year's AIM meeting, so stay tuned. This is the 6th AIM. All 5 prior AIMs really has helped advance ataxia research and bringing young investigators in the field of ataxia research. Here's one of the AIMs in 2012 and 2014. Along with funding research and bringing researchers together to help accelerate worldwide ataxia research, in 2013, the National Ataxia Foundation partnered with Sanford Research in creating the CORDS NAF Ataxia Patient Registry. Currently, there's 925 fully enrolled participants, 64 participating in the screening process. Participants enrolled from 49 states. We still have 1 state, Alaska. Anybody here from Alaska? Well, hopefully we can get that taken care of soon. And 28 countries. And this is a little bit unique. The foundation had a patient registry prior to this one, and it only served the United States. So we're really excited about the international reach of this registry. Of those registered participants enrolled in the CORDS NAF Ataxia Patient Registry, you can see by this chart that we have pre-teen registrations up to 90 years of age, and those are breakdown of that groupings. Why should you participate? Well, for the CORDS registry. It provides participants an opportunity to be informed of research studies and clinical trials for which they are eligible, provides researchers with a central resource for the identification and more rapid recruitment of potential research participants, provides potential to accelerate ataxia research, and there is absolutely no cost to you. So this year we have CORDS here at the exhibitor hall, and they're happy to enroll anyone interested in becoming a participant. You'll maybe see some of these little stickers that says, the little blue stickers that says, I am enrolled. So enroll today and you get a sticker. So, it's a real simple process, and it takes only about 30 minutes to completely enroll. So you have the options of enrolling today here at the conference by mail, but also online. If you go to NAF's website, there's a direct link to the CORDS registry. Awareness is so important, and in 1982, NAF members and NAF wrote to Dear Abby. How many remember Dear Abby? All right. I'm not alone then. That's good. And to encourage her to write a letter about ataxia in her column. And from those efforts, a letter in Dear Abby appeared and resulted in over 3,400 letters to NAF. And in 1994, ABC 2020 aired a news program about ataxia and NAF. And in 2000 was the first International Ataxia Awareness Day, where ataxia organizations throughout the world declared September 25th as IAAD. NAF members throughout the United States has responded brilliantly to International Ataxia Awareness Day by informing their local communities about ataxia through events, proclamations, and media attention. In 2002, NAF received a little bit of publicity from a game show called The Weakest Link. I don't know if anybody remembers that game show, but the Carlson twins were on an episode of Super Male Model Edition and selected NAF as a charity. And I remember when Lane Carlson called me up at the office and was telling me that he was going on this game show, and he couldn't remember what the name of it was, and then he finally remembered it was The Weakest Link, and that they had selected the National Ataxia Foundation to be the recipient of whatever funds they were able to get from that game show. And I wasn't sure if he was pulling my leg or not, but it was actually legit. In 2015, NAF's website received over 200,000 visitors from 185 countries. Of those, over 111,000 came from desktops, a little over 62,000 from mobile devices, and over 26,000 from tablets. Not that long ago, almost all of it came from desktops, so you can really see a change to mobile devices and tablets. NAF's e-blast has continued to grow with more than 8,500 subscribers. In 2015, 96 e-blasts were sent out regarding events, research updates, support group meetings, and other activities. Through awareness events such as walk and rolls for ataxia, media coverage, social media, government proclamations, information booths at Abilities Expo, CFC events, the Brain Health Fair, as well as medical and research conferences, ataxia awareness events, and NAF's website, the word ataxia is getting out. The National Ataxia Foundation is a world leader in providing informational materials around the world, and today we have more than 20 frequently asked questions fact sheets, as well as many other books and publications, including Generations. We mailed out over 5,000 paper copies of NAF fact sheets in 2015, with many, many more thousand being downloaded from our website. Also, the second edition of Children with Ataxia was also introduced. Walk and rolls. really a centerpiece of the National Ataxia Foundation in terms of creating ataxia awareness and in raising funds to support the important mission of the foundation. The first one began in 2007. It's a walk and roll held in San Diego, California, hosted by the San Diego Ataxia Support Group led by Earl McLaughlin. And since that time, NAF Walk and Rolls for Ataxia has continued to grow from California to Georgia to Massachusetts to Colorado, from Minnesota to Utah and beyond. In 2015, 12 Walk and Rolls for Ataxia were held throughout the United States, raising more than $285,000 with more than 1,600 participants and tens of thousands more being informed about ataxia. Walk and Rolls for Ataxia primary objectives, number one, is to have fun, raise awareness and funds to support the mission of NAF. And families, friends, coworkers, neighbors, and communities come together each year to honor those with ataxia. Each walk and roll is unique, but all provide a setting of fun, sharing, and caring. Support groups, families, and individuals have all conducted walk and rolls, and please join them in hosting your own walk and roll. We'd be delighted to talk to you here at the conference or to contact us at the office to chat with you about starting a walk and roll. I know that Joel Sutherland, our new Director of Development, is excited to talk to you as well. And I just wanted to say a heartfelt thank you to all the incredible work, the hard work of the event organizers, the participants, the donors, sponsors, and volunteers. You're all amazing. Social media is something that has been around for a while. In fact, NAS Bulletin Board was around since the 1980s, and that was before it was called social media. But one of the things I wanted to mention to you on this social media is the video views. In 2014, there was 8,127, in 2015, 28,246. And I think in 2013, there was about 1,100. So there's a real mushrooming effect for the video views. And really the centerpiece of that movement is from really one family, John and Dana Moreau. John, are you around, and Dana? And we thank you for all your hard work on that and creating ataxia awareness. Here's one example.
Hi everyone, my name is Dana Morrow. Last year I did a fact a day about ataxia. I started on September 1st and ended on September 25th, which is International Ataxia Awareness Day. For those of you who might not have seen that series, I'm here because my passion is to educate about ataxia. My husband John has ataxia, and he was diagnosed in 2005. His type of ataxia is sporadic unknown. Ever since he was diagnosed, we faced the same questions no matter where we went. What is ataxia? And so instead of just getting frustrated with that question, we decided to do something about it. So this is my attempt to educate on ataxia. My idea is to do short sound bites of information, give you one fact a day, under 2 minutes, and my hope is that at the end of the time, you're going to know one thing about ataxia, and hopefully you can share that, or at least have an awareness of what ataxia is. So I'm going to do 12 days of what is ataxia and give you little tidbits and facts. So I hope you enjoy these, and I look forward to hearing your stories about how you've shared something you've learned about ataxia with your family and friends. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, John and Dana. Outstanding. To support research and programs, in 2015, NAF received support from these groups, support groups, CFC, which I talked about a little bit, corporate support, deferred giving in estates, employer matching gifts, endowment funds, family fundraisers, foundation support, various fundraising events, gifts of stock and assets, group, families, and individuals, International Ataxia Awareness Day events, membership support, memorials and honors of, online shopping portals, our partners, planned giving, recurring gift programs, research drive, social networking, special projects, United Way, the vehicle donation, and certainly the walk and rolls. We are truly grateful and acknowledge each of our donors. Each donor plays an essential role in fulfilling our mission to serve ataxia families. In addition, our amazing volunteers not only give of their precious time and extraordinary talents, but also significantly help in reducing the cost of NAF expenses, so more funds can be used to support promising research and important programs. In 2015, Charity Navigator, America's premier charity evaluator, gave the National Ataxia Foundation 4 out of 4-star rating. This is the third consecutive year NAF has received this 4-star rating, and Charity Navigator has awarded this to only 14% of their thousands of charities that they review each year. While the 2015 annual audit will soon be available, the 2014 CPA annual audit reflects fundraising costs of 3% of total expenditure, 5% for administrative costs, and 92% of the total expenditures for program services. In other words, 92 cents out of every dollar spent is used to support promising research and important programs. And of those program services category, 61.5% of all expenditures were used to support research. Through NAF chapter support groups and ambassadors, NAF has a network of volunteers who bring local ataxia families together to share, learn, and network. Support group leaders, chapter presidents, and ambassadors help identify local resources and offer support and information to ataxia families. To help leaders with this important work, a regional concept is being developed, which a regional coordinator will be assigned a region to work with leaders that are in that area to enhance communication and heighten support for the ambassadors, support groups, and chapters. Today, there are 3 chapters in the United States, 41 support groups, and 23 ambassadors. And we want more. And anyone interested in starting a support group, please, see me at or Lori Sjogren or Joel Sutherland at the conference, or call our offices, and we'd love to talk to you about starting a support group in your area. The Board of Directors of the National Ataxia Foundation held a 2-day strategic planning session in November 2015. A major outcome of this meeting was the establishment of 5 bold goals, which provides the foundation for a formal strategic plan that will act as NAF's roadmap for the next 3 to 5 years. The 5 bold goals are: increase revenues, increase awareness and recognition, become clinical trial research ready, building internal capacity, as well as understanding the importance of having a strategic plan, not only to guide the organization, but to provide a mechanism by which NAF's progress and success can be measured and evaluated. We expect that the strategic plan will be completed and in place by mid-2016. Part of this strategic planning process was asking our membership for their input, and it was really an overwhelming response, and thank all of our members for participating in that. It was the information you provided that were key components in the development of the strategic planning process. For the future, through the strategic planning process, and our vision for the future is an enhancing of fundraising capacity, accelerating ataxia awareness campaigns, strengthening clinical readiness, expanding worldwide ataxia research, and collaborating with industry and additional ataxia organizations. With the dedication and commitment of NAF volunteers, donors, and our partners, together we can end ataxia. Thank you.